All right, let's talk about it. Finding some calm in all this chaos. Today, we're going to build a psychological toolkit with 3 solid, science-backed strategies to help you go from feeling panicked to feeling at peace. Let's dive right in.
So let me ask you something. Does this feel familiar? That feeling that the world is just moving way too fast? Notifications, deadlines, the 24/7 news, it all adds up to this internal chaos, right? If you're nodding right now, trust me, you are not alone. And there's actually a scientific name for this feeling.
It's called cognitive overload. It's literally the point where your environment is throwing more information at you than your brain can possibly handle. Think of it like your computer having way too many tabs open. It's not a personal weakness, it's just a biological fact of life in our hyper-stimulated world. Now, here's the most important part. We can't just hit a mute button on the world, as much as we might want to sometimes. But what we can do is change how our brain receives and responds to all that noise. This isn't about escaping the world. It's about mastering our internal reaction to it. And to do that, we first need to know what's happening upstairs. So let's look at the science of overwhelm, your brain on chaos. Because, you can't really fix a problem until you understand how the machine actually works. And the mechanics of chaos, well, they start in a very ancient part of your brain. So when you feel that sudden rush of stress, that feeling of being completely overwhelmed, your brain is going through something called an amygdala hijack. Your amygdala is basically your brain's ancient alarm system, and in that moment, it thinks it's detected a serious threat. And what's so fascinating is the trade-off that happens. Your amygdala doesn't know the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and a stressful email. The alarm sounds the same. It just floods your system with stress hormones. But here's the catch. When the alarm system goes up, your prefrontal cortex, your logic center, the rational CEO of your brain, it goes offline. This is exactly why you can't just think your way out of panic. The part of your brain you need for that has temporarily checked out. So the whole point of our toolkit isn't just to be positive. That's like telling someone to fly by flapping their arms. Nope. The goal is much more of a biological hack. We need to calm down that screaming alarm system so we can get our logic center, our prefrontal cortex, back online and back in control. And that brings us to the good stuff, your toolkit. We're going to walk through 3 super practical, evidence-based tools that do exactly that. So let's get right into the first one. Tool number 1. And this one might surprise you because it doesn't start with your mind at all. It starts with your body. You see, the fastest route to calming your brain is actually through your body. You can't really think your way out of a strong feeling, but you can act your way out of one. This is a technique used by everyone, from Navy SEALs in combat situations to therapists helping people with trauma. It's called box breathing, and it is beautifully simple. Just follow the pattern. You inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold that breath for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 4, and then hold your lungs empty for 4. That's it. Just doing that a few times can completely change your physical state. So why does this work? It's not magic, it's pure biology. This specific breathing pattern stimulates something called the vagus nerve. You can think of this nerve as the literal brake pedal for your nervous system. It sends a direct signal to your brain that says, hey, we're safe, you can stand down. When the body feels safe, the brain listens, and your logic center starts to come back online. Okay, so your body is calm, your logic center is coming back. Now we can address the mind. Let's move on to tool number 2. So much of the chaos we feel inside comes from a very simple, very human mistake. We waste our energy trying to control things that are completely outside of our control. And this is where a classic idea from Stoic philosophy is an absolute game changer. It's called the circle of control. I want you to picture 2 circles. In the very center, the inner circle, that's everything you actually have direct control over. Your words, your effort, your boundaries, your reactions. Now the outer circle, that's everything else. The past, the future, what other people think, the economy, the traffic. Your only job is to pour all of your energy into that inner circle. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Anxiety lives and thrives in that gap between the 2 circles, in that space where we're trying to control the uncontrollable. So next time you feel that overwhelm, just ask yourself, is this problem inside my circle or outside? If it's outside, your job is acceptance. If it's inside, your job is action. And that brings us to our final tool. This one helps us deal with the messy, chaotic feelings themselves. This technique comes from the neuroscientist Dr. Dan Siegel, and he has this brilliant quote, "The brain cannot solve vague." And that is so true. When we just tell ourselves, I'm overwhelmed, We're giving our brain this big, fuzzy, unsolvable storm of stress to deal with. The solution is to get specific. You have to name it to tame it. So instead of just saying, I'm stressed, you break it down. You move from that vague, overwhelmed feeling to something more concrete. Like, okay, I'm feeling anxious because of this deadline, and I'm also feeling insecure about my work. Studies show that the simple act of labeling an emotion with specific words actually calms down the amygdala. You're shifting from feeling to thinking, and that's how you tame the chaos. So, what does this all mean for you? How do you actually put these tools together to find that little bit of stillness in the middle of all the noise of your life? Well, here's your toolkit all in one place. First, you regulate your body with box breathing. That's your emergency brake. Second, you focus your mind with the circle of control. Put your energy where it actually counts. And third, you label the emotion with name it to tame it. Define the feeling to diffuse its power. And this is really the most important takeaway. Life is always going to have some chaos. That's just a given. It's inevitable. But being controlled by it, being a victim to it, that part is optional. You now have the tools to manage your internal world, no matter what the external world throws at you. And I'll leave you with this final thought. The goal isn't to create a life where there's no noise, no problems. I mean, that's impossible. The real skill, the true peace, comes from learning how to find your center, how to find your stillness right in the middle of all of it.